Hi guys, and welcome to Kibs Fibs Thursdays, which is the new day for Kibs Fibs. Just because I like saying Thursdays. Right, let's crack on really, now that the snow's gone away. Okay, so what was the lie last week? Now, Tabletop Banter asked the question, if you could be a superhero, what power would you take and what colour spandex? Well, I said a shade of grey and colourblind man, which is just bloody stupid. What I'd actually prefer to have is some powers like Ant-Man, to be honest, except instead of powering ants, I'd like to ride on an earwig with a ta-ta-ta-ta on its tail. It'd be fantastic. So an army of earwigs. How scary would that be? Screw ants, just earwigs. People are scared of them things getting in their ears as it is. So that would be the truth. And the people who guessed right on that one were Idic Beer and Big Mech Danskull. So good job, guys. Right, not many questions this week. So I'll just start off in no particular order. So Idic Beer, Nick asked, what is your least favourite 40k army and why? Now, one of my old favourites used to be the Necrons. And that was simply because they were sort of mindless machines just working. I like the idea of it being very sort of almost the opposite to orcs, where everything is done by getting angry. Just the Necrons ploughing on, no feelings. But from what I gather, they've added sort of named characters and personalities and stuff to them now, and I don't know, that doesn't. Not a big fan of that, and that's taken away the one thing I sort of really liked about the army. So I'm going to go with Necrons for that one. Not a fan. Sorry, guys. Okay, Blizz has asked, have you ever had a project, modelling, painting, or other, for your orcs go so horrible, so terribly wrong that you've scrapped the whole concept? Not really, no. With the orcs, you can get away with pulling it apart and rebuilding or just replacing the thing really quickly because it's done so ramshackle. The initial truck that I did for the big rig, I wasn't very keen on the shape of it. I'd made it much taller on the sort of the cabs of the front windows here. I've made it really tall, and then the engine part was quite small, and it looked more like a tractor than a big rig. I nearly scrapped that, but I was able to sort of chop the top off and do some work to it and make it work. So I kept it. When I did my drone army, there were several instances where I've been working with the Tau drones with Forge World and GW, and just coming up with concepts for how I was going to do the drones to represent the different parts of the army. And I scrapped quite a few on there. I don't think I took any pictures, unfortunately, but I wasted a fair bit of money on Forge World models just trying to get their drones and use them to represent different parts of the Tau army. So that's the only ones I've scrapped, really. Okay, thanks for your question. Mini Warzone has asked, who do you reckon would win a fight, a bog standard Space Marine or Iron Man? Iron Man? Come on, he can fly. Now, you get a Space Marine, an Assault Space Marine, and he would probably give him a run for his money. But let's face it, Iron Man. Especially if you're going by the last movie where he had 1,000,001 suits and they all could work independently. But even if you're talking one-on-one, I mean, he'd be able to just throw the bolter away and just keep pew 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 with his arms. So I'd go with Iron Man on that one. Okay, Big Mac Danskull has said, interesting question this one. I said, where's the strangest place you've watched a YouTube hobby video? And that one would be the Vatican, actually. I've been thinking about the strangest places because I watch YouTube videos on my phone all the time. And probably the strangest one would be the Vatican. I mean, back then you could the things you added to your phone. Sorry, the videos you added to your watch later list, you could set your phone so it downloaded them. So I did that before I went to Italy, because I knew that I wasn't likely to have signal, and what signal I did have was going to cost me an absolute fortune, especially when it comes to data. So I sort of added a load of videos to my watch later, and they all downloaded, and then I was watching them as we went around, and we had a tour, and they have a break in the middle of the Vatican on this like piece of grass, and it was so boring, and I wasn't all that entertained by what we were seeing in there anyway. It was just a bunch of old paintings, and then the Sistine Chapel, people are going to be mad at me for this, but Sistine Chapel was a complete letdown. I don't know what people see in that. We were all crammed in like sardines. You couldn't move. You couldn't see the floor. I don't know whether they've got some fancy flooring in there. You could barely see the ceiling because you're being knocked over. The St David's Cathedral and the Trevi Fountain and all those places were much, much better. The Vatican was a real letdown, considering it's quite difficult to get tickets and it's quite expensive as well. So, yes, sorry, I went off on one then. The Vatican is probably the strangest place. It's probably the strangest place I have watched YouTube videos. Okay, and now the final question is from Tabletop Banter, who has asked, what drives you to put regular content in the midst of everyday life, and how do you find the time to make your spectacular scratch build? First off, thank you very much. There's a compliment in there. To be honest, what motivates me? I make the content because I enjoy sort of showing what can be done and trying to help other people. I've always been sort of somebody to impart knowledge on people, whether they want it or not. So I guess this is just an outlet for that, rather than just bothering people in the street and telling them about something I've done and how they can do it themselves, and basically. Excuse me. So that's my motivation, is to sort of, I enjoy imparting knowledge, and also it keeps me motivated to carry on doing these things. Of course, this year, since I got back into it, it's something to focus my brain on. If I'm not focusing my brain at all times, I'm worried I'm going to think about something bad, and then I'm just going to spiral again. So I'm very much sort of keep the brain focused on whether it's doing a model or making a video about the model or doing something. Then it stops me thinking about bad things and ignorant to the whole situation, which probably isn't the best way of going about it, but I find it helps. So there's that. So that's my motivation. And how do I keep it up? Well, I make videos. I make the models on my lunch breaks at work. I usually take half an hour, and I'm sort of eating in front of my computer, and I just sort of push the keyboard out of the way and just build. As long as I've got my cutting mat with me, because I've actually damaged my table at work quite a bit. It's got quite a few scratches in it from hobby blades. So I make them there, and then when I come home after we put Jacob to bed, we like relaxing in front of the TV. If you couldn't tell from my size, we relax in front of the TV, and we don't 100% watch TV. Karen, my wife, she'll sort of mess around on her computer while she's watching TV, and I just get a tray, all my stuff, and I just hobby, whether it's painting or building, and just sort of listening out for the TV and looking up at certain scenes, rewinding bits that I think I should have watched, and somehow, I guess, putting a couple hours in at night and then maybe an hour at lunch at work, it just happens. It just quite quickly, the time flies by and you've done something. It's not surprising. And the videos, the reason I can put out so many videos these days, I look back to my old live, back to when I used to be making videos, and I used to put out maybe 1-2 a week, whereas now I can pretty much I don't do them every night, but I could, because basically I'm doing this live. There's no post-editing, so I don't have to I used to have to get the video file off the video recorder, stick it on my computer. That used to take time. Then I used to have to put it into my video editor, sort out the intro bit, make sure that looked alright, sort out the outro bit, make sure that looked alright, and then do any little bits in between, and then process it, which used to take about 20 to 30 minutes. My computer wasn't very good back then. 20 to 30 minutes. And then finally, once that's done, upload it to YouTube. With this, what I do is I start recording. I've got buttons to control what happens on the screen, and when it's finished, I start uploading. It's so much faster, and I found that it's far less stressful, and I can get more done, and it also frees up my time to do actual hobbying that basically makes the content for my channel. So that's that. That is it. There are no more questions, so put down in the comments which one you thought was a fib this time round. Thanks ever so much for the questions. Looking forward to the questions this week, and yeah, just to say that I am really enjoying these videos, the sort of backwards and forwards. I'm always keen to get more interaction with the community. It's fantastic. So nothing else to say, but thanks for watching. Catch me up in between on these things, though. This one I don't really look at, and this one isn't very often updated, but this one is. So that's the one to keep an eye on. I need to change this. This is just wrong. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay well, guys. Cheers.